Today we are going to talk about one of the major elements in academic life, namely being reviewed or doing reviews. Specifically today I will present to you the guidelines for grading research proposals at the European Science Foundation or the ESF. This is a giant endeavor, a program that evaluated 11,000 research proposals in more than 90 grant campaigns. With that size, you have to be systematic, egalitarian and clear. So today I will tell you about the evaluation standards for ESF proposals. You can assume that other large funding programs have their own rubrics, but the evaluation process should be similar. Hello, I am Professor Gad Yair, and in my YouTube channel and my online course, Land Your Academic Career, you will learn everything you need to know about academia and science careers. I provide you with tips, suggestions and recommendations along with general exposure to higher education trends. My course, Land Your Academic Careers, the link for which is below, goes deeper and takes a more practical and serious approach. Join me for your journey to land your academic career. So the ESF asks you to rate proposal on 4 main areas. If you are being evaluated, these are the same 4. I warn you, this might be a boring talk, but keep it on your refrigerator or something. Criteria 1, scientific capacity, track record and collaboration of the research group. 2, scientific quality, relevance of the research project and originality. B, quality of the research approach and feasibility of the project. 3, general conclusions considering the above criteria, and an optional section D, comments on the appropriateness of resources applied for. Now, for each of those elements there are 15 gradations of grading, from 0, which means unacceptable, to 7, which means A+ or excellent. Each grade, 1 for example, is split into 2 parts, one being weak and a slight improvement but still weak. Now, for each of the questions above there are explanations for the grades. Let me go over them. Write them down so that you never forget on the refrigerator, I told you. 1. Scientific capacity, track record and collaboration of the research group. In essence, this is about the research team. How good is it, the team? How senior is the principal investigator, namely the PI? We start up with grade 7 and 6 and 6.5, namely excellent proposal or outstanding. The scientific track record and research achievements of all included PIs and research team are excellence, internationally recognized and fully suited to execute a proposed project and all the research output. The research profile, taking into account a variety of skills, activities and achievements of the core PIs as presented in the application, is fully convincing for their ability to execute the proposed project on a high level. The PIs and involved research teams evidence a growing scientific reputation for which the project could be a breakthrough, and if applicable, there is a pronounced synergy between consortium partners. Now to grade good or very good, from 5 to 4 in 4 gradations of quality. PIs and involved research teams generally provide evidence of a good scientific track record and research achievements considering their scientific seniority. The available research expertise fits the program and or the research output and research profile, taking into account a variety of skills, activities and achievements of the core PIs as presented in the application, is convincing for their ability to execute the proposed project on a proper level. And or PIs and involved research teams evidence a growing scientific reputation. The project seamlessly fits in with this progress, and if applicable, complementary expertise and proper collaboration between research groups. I lost my way. Brussels. Grades fair and reasonable, 2 and 3 in the rank gradations. The proposed PIs and the research group have a good scientific track record. There are some doubts on whether the available competence sufficiently fits an optimal execution of the project and or the research output and research profile, taking into account a variety of skills, activities and achievements of the core PIs as presented in the applications is adequate to execute the proposed project, and or there are some doubts on whether the available competence is sufficiently fitted to an optimal execution of the project, and if applicable, the consortium is not optimally composed. Some expertise is either lacking or overlapping. Weak or grade 1 split into 2 grades? The track record and main research achievements of some of the included individual researchers is, taking into account their scientific seniority, less present or less competitive, and or the research output and research profile, taking into account a variety of skills, activities and achievements of the core PIs as presented in the application, is less convincing for their ability to execute the proposed project, and, if applicable, the complementarity of the involved research groups is not well described or lacking. And then, finally, the deathbed grade unacceptable, 0, again splits into 2 gradations. Essential research expertise, know-how or infrastructure is lacking to carry out this project, and or research output and research profile, taking into account a variety of skills, activities and achievements of the core PIs as presented in the application, is not convincing for their ability to execute the proposed project. What words, what words, what words. 2a. Scientific quality, relevance of the research project and originality. Now we move on to the essence of the proposals, the ideas that are available, if you like, the innovative approach. How good is it? How updated is the proposal? Again, the same scale applies. I will not go over it, but here are the meanings of the ratings. We start with excellent or outstanding. The project is highly original and very unique. It distinguishes itself in an outstanding way from ongoing research and has a large impact potential. Groundbreaking research. The proposal demonstrates a very high level of scientific risks and shows clear, inventive and challenging ideas, novel concepts and strategies. Then comes the grades good and very good. The scientific goals of the proposal offer a substantial added value relative to the international state-of-the-art and to ongoing research activities. The project builds upon the international state-of-the-art in a sound manner, and the proposal as a whole fits well with the requirements of high-risk, challenging and inventive fundamental research. Now come grades fair or reasonable. The added value of the proposal relative to the international state-of-the-art and to ongoing research is still reasonable, but less pronounced or less well elaborated, and or not at all, not all parts of the proposal fit well with the requirements of high-risk, challenging and inventive fundamental research. And comes the grade weak. The added value of the proposal relative to the international state-of-the-art and to ongoing research is limited. The project is rather a catching-up effort and or rather limited level of scientific risks and pronounced challenges. And then unacceptable. The proposal contains structural flaws and or does not offer scientific added value to the international state-of-the-art and to already ongoing research, and or the project does not contain real scientific risks or challenges. No. We move on to question 2b. Namely, what is the quality of the research approach and feasibility of the project? Here, we move on to focus on the methods section, the proposed execution of the study. We use the same ranking method. What a boring exercise. Excellent or outstanding requirements, very good and thorough in identification of research risks, with alternative research strategies and fallback research options. And, if applicable, the research plan is focused on a high level of integration, cross-fertilization, and synergy between the partners. The role of each partner is clearly defined. Grades good or very good. The proposed methodology is well elaborated, relevant, and suitable to reach the targeted scientific objectives. No significant gaps or shortcomings. And the project implementation is realistic and feasible within the 4-year time frame. Timescales and resources are properly justified. And, if applicable, good balance in work distribution, taking into account expertise of each partner, well-defined roles for each of the partners. We move yet down to the grade fair or reasonable. The research approach is reasonable, but contains some gaps or shortcomings and/or leaves room for improvement and/or the balance between scientific challenge and feasibility of the scientific project objectives is reasonable, and/or some gaps or shortcomings in project planning and management. Resources may need to be reviewed and, if applicable, the balance in work distribution is reasonably in line with the expertise, reasonably well-defined roles of each partner. And then comes the grade weak. The research approach shows serious flaws or shortcomings. The research approach must be improved substantially, and/or the match between research goals and approach needs to be adjusted considerably. And, if applicable, the work distribution is not well balanced, taking into account the expertise of the partners. The roles of each partner are not well defined. And finally, unacceptable, evident discrepancy or mismatch between research goals and research approach, and/or the realization of the scientific goals is not feasible within the proposed research approach. Then they want or give general conclusions about the proposal, taking into account the above criteria. And finally, you can leave comments on the appropriateness of the resources and the budget. Clearly then, the ESF asks 3 questions. One on the quality of the research team, the personnel. The second is a question about theory and intellectual innovation. They seek high-risk, high-gain proposals, and the ideas matter a lot. And finally, 3, the methods section. Is it fitting to test the ideas? Is it developed well enough? Are the measures relevant? Now, when you write your research proposal or when you review a research proposal, pay attention to the 3 questions. At the end, Brussels adds up the numbers for a global score, then ranks the proposals, then decides how many will be awarded. It is a long and hard task, but having the rubric or criteria should help you focus on the task. Okay, that is enough for today, but do not forget this talk. To make sure you own it, sign up for my course on academic careers. You will have a wonderful time with me. If you get funded or land an academic career, this will repay you time and again. Until next time, I am Professor Gad Yair.